What is happening, my YouTube family? It is your boy Zary coming at you from the XMG today, and we're going to talk about a little tale of the Pride. And with that Pride, we're going to talk about leadership and the great debate that raged on for the existence of this game. Who is the better lead, Hera or Revol? But before we get into that, if you're just finding me for the first time and you're liking what you're seeing, click that subscribe button, turn on notifications, all that good stuff that goes along with it. And for all my XMG family members out there, you know I love you. So let's get into Hera versus Revol. Alright, we are back and we are ready to get into this. And I get asked this a lot, and I've been trying to make videos on it, and I'm glad I held off, because today we're going to talk about the two leaderships for the Pride, and it's a good time to get into it because we have buff coming. And with buff, we need Pride. Now, I've been asked, what leader are you going to use? Who's better? And the answer is very, very simple. There's two leaders. One, Hera. Two, Revol. And the answer I'm going to give you in the beginning of the video. And it's personal opinion. There isn't a better leadership. It's on how you like to play and the team you want to build. It's that simple. Revol offers good things, which we're going to get into, and Hera offers good things, which we're going to get into. So with that being said, let's jump over and take a look at their leaderships. We're going to start with Revol. Revol's leadership. Pretty basic, pretty standard. It offers two things, just like Hera's does. And that is, at level 6, all allied Pride gain 30% to their maximum health, and a 50% chance to restore one turn to a random ability at the start of their turn. So, what we're seeing out of this leadership is maximum health, increasing survivability. The Pride do have squishy characters. And then the 50% chance to restore the turn to a random ability is something you see. Sometimes it procs like all the time in a fight. Sometimes it's zero. It's hard to juggle it. But it offers two things. 30% max health and 50% chance to restore that random ability. Now, the big difference between the Revol leadership and the Hera leadership is the second part, that 50% chance, is just that. A chance. 50% chance. Let's jump over to Hera and read her leadership before we dig a little bit further into Revol's leadership. Alright, so here's Hera. We have Hera. Her leadership. I find it to be very good. All allies from the Pride gain a 20% dodge increase. So you get health, increasing your survivability with Revol at 30%. And then you get dodge, increasing your survivability by 20%. With Hera. Okay, then when the battle starts, all Pride defenders gain taunt for 2 turns. So there's only one Pride defender. Korador. Then the second part to that, all Pride healers and tacticians gain invisibility for 2 turns. Now we have 4 people that fall into that category. 2 under the tactician role. The first one, Hera herself. The second one, the Trickster. Then we have 2 healers, Roxy and Renara. All healers, they fall, so when the battle starts, they're going to gain invisibility for 2 turns. Then, all allied Pride fighters gain a damage increase for 2 turns. And we have 4 of them. First one, Revol. Second one, Yogi. Third one, Kagi. Fourth one, Boris. So that's what they're going to do. Boris, Kagi, Yogi, Revol will get damage increase, increasing their damage. So we've seen Revol's and we've seen Hera's. They both have some pluses, they both have some minuses. Hera's is less RNG dependent. You're getting the dodge increase, whether they dodge or not. It is what it is. But then you're also guaranteed taunt on a defender, invisibility on healers and tacticians, and damage increase for fighters. Revol, you have a 50% shot to get the random ability. back to Revol. There are some pluses and some minuses to Revol's leadership. One, he's giving them 30% health. And he's restoring a random ability at a 50% clip. Great. He allows you to put squishier characters on that team, which is a theme you'll see. Then we also see we don't have to change runes under a Revol leadership. Kind of. We can rune the characters the way we want to. And it isn't like, okay, if they get a crit, they get health back. We don't have to do that. They get maximum health. So we want to make sure we're stacking health. So the southwestern rune, instead of shield, you want health as the primary. You want to make sure you're putting health in the secondaries, but still, you can rune the characters how you want. Boris can have critical chance and critical damage and still be effective with health secondaries. And the list can go on and on. You can have Yogi with speed, because he's still going to do what you want him to do. So we are going to jump into a fight. You're going to see the Revol leadership, and it is that simple. You rune them how you want to rune them, looking for health in the secondaries over armor, over shield, because you want to increase that maximum health to increase their survivability. Now here we are, and we're in a hard tower mode. The first stage of hard tower should not be hard. But in this comp, I have Roxy, Boris, Kagi, for the synergy with Roxy, but also to be the damage dealers, and then we have a Salvador to be a tank. Now you could put Yogi here, you could put in Renara, Vorian if you really wanted to. I'd steer clear of that. But you have those options. So we're going to jump into a fight, and you're going to see. I'm going to shrink myself down a little bit, and let's fight. Now, this fight should not be hard. It's the first level of hard tower mode, but it's just so you can kind of see what's going on here. And we'll talk a little bit about it afterwards. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring myself all the way up here so we can see moves. Now, Roxy, obviously, we want to start by getting out her feathers, and we're going to reduce that damage. We're going to try to get our taunt up with Salvador first. Crit chance. We're going to go after Shadar so he doesn't feed the turn meter. Defeated. Pigwalled. But as you can see, the team is a little squishier right off the bat because Salvador doesn't have his taunt up yet. Now Salvador gets his taunt up, the team can progress as we need, and that is going to help out. So Revol's leadership is just simply an offensive team. You want to use that a team to attack. You can hide good DPS with maximum health, and you just try to burn down the other team faster. Plain and simple. Now Hera's lead. Hera's lead is simply a defensive team with much more survivability. And also, much like that of Revol, you don't have to ruin your characters any differently under a Hera lead. You don't even have to worry about secondary stats being health, nothing. Rune them how you want them. Increase their shield if you want. Make them have armor. You don't have to worry about anything. And I'm going to show you why. Now, I'm not going to take us in the tower because I want you to see the full effect, and I'm just going to take you into a longer fight. The fights with a Hera lead are definitely going to be longer, but you have increased survivability. So right now we are in the Runic Journey campaign, and as you can see, Salvador has his taunt up. The tacticians and healers, Renara and Hera, gain invisibility. Boris and Kagi, the damage dealers, now have attack up. So this team, if you lose somebody because of Renara, because fights do take longer, and if you have somebody who can remove debuffs, etc., it's much harder to keep everybody alive for that reason, because the fights do take longer. That's why I put Renara with this team, but it is more survivable. We are going to get Renara out of there because of the revive mechanic. The dodge is coming in handy from the leadership. AoE. Gonna put on our steel shell because we already had taunt. We don't need to heal at this point. Maybe the regenerations will help, so we'll put those up. Now we're gonna put everybody under stealth. Haste. taunt. Venomate out of there. And there you go. So you can kind of see the mechanics there of how we do it. Renara for the revive because the fights do last longer. Heal over time. You saw some dodges in there from the Hera leadership. Salvador gets his taunt first, which increases the survivability of your team. Now, some things I found under a Revol lead is I found Roxy is much better for a Revol lead because you can mitigate damage, because Salvador won't have his taunt up right away, so you can't use the steel shell first. You got to use his taunt. Roxy helps mitigate that damage. She has burst healing, so much better for a Revol leadership. But again, max health. He is an offensive type leader, and Hera is a defense leader, giving Salvador that taunt for 2 turns off the bat, so you can use your steel shell first and mitigating the damage. I use Renara there for the revives because sometimes fights do last longer. They do last longer. Not sometimes, always pretty much. And also what you look at is the invisibility, so they can't target Renara right away. They can't target Hera right away. She also has the Cath stealth, where she puts the whole team under stealth as long as she doesn't take any damage. And she is a quasi damage dealer. So that is the team I prefer, the one I showed you. Now Revol could fill in for Boris if you don't have him on a Hera lead. So definitely worth putting together for defensive composition in Battlegrounds. So there it is. There's Revol's lead versus Hera lead. And as I said in the beginning, it's personal preference. Some people prefer Revol, some people prefer Hera. I am one that prefers Hera. I like the way it flows better. I like Salvador getting the taunt right away. I prefer Renara to Roxy because of the revive mechanic. So it is all personal preference. And as I said, Revol is an offensive team. Hera is a defensive team, and it depends on what you need at what time. And one thing I did read on a couple of my comments from the last video about buff and where my pride were is that people feel we are leveling garbage characters, and I don't feel that way at all. The synergy between pride is very good. Now it's hard to fit everybody together to make that synergy, but a good stacked pride team with a Hera lead is tough on defense. So putting gear into these people, I don't feel is a bad decision at all. And I might be wrong. Those people might be right. Just my feeling. But I prefer Hera for Revol, but it is all personal preference. Remember, Hera defense, Revol nuking offense. So that's what I got for everybody today. There's my little take on Hera versus Revol and how you should handle each situation. Let me know in the comments below who your favorite pride leader is. With that being said, that's what I got for you today. I love y'all. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. I'll see you in the next one. I'm out.